All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Football Focus Weekly. I'm the Pepman, Matt Marver. Glad to have you here. Tonight we are talking about Cabarrus and Union County football previews. But before we get started, we got to run the intro, so we'll be right back.
Y'all ready to work?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Let's wake up now. It's time. It's time.
Your stepping down kind of caught them by surprise. So, can you kind of tell us what went into your decision to step away from coaching right now?
Many of these early offers are what they call contingency offers, meaning the offer is contingent on certain things happening down the road, like a corner growing 1.5 inches.
Let's not undersell this thing. A lot of coaches use this as a recruitment tool. I've lost several players because of 717. And that's fine. Kids choose where they want to go, but at the same time, that wasn't the intent of doing 717.
Welcome. We got 2 comments in the box. Keisha's first this week. All right. I don't know where our buddy is, but that's rare. Karen Belt, good to see you. Yeah, we're all counting down. We are all counting down. We are ready to go. Next week are scrimmages. Scrimmages start next week. This year we've got 2 weeks of scrimmages, so it's gonna be some good stuff, man. We'll talk about scrimmages, I guess next week. Yeah, because scrimmages will really kind of get started next Friday on August 9th. There's a big jamboree on the 10th in Gaston County. So we'll talk about some scrimmages on the big Charlotte show, which will not be an hour. We will go way over our time because there's a lot of schools to cover in Charlotte. And it'll be a fun show. That's usually the biggest show of the year in terms of viewership. So that'll be a good time. Coach Seidel checking in. Appreciate it, man. We'll be definitely talking about them J.M. Robinson Bulldogs here in a little bit. But to get started tonight, we're going to start with a little bit of Union County, man. Union County, I say this every year. I think they have some of the best overall football in the state in that county. And this year is no exception. There's several teams on this list that will be playoff teams and a couple of state title contenders in this group as well. So without further ado, we'll get started in talking about them. So on the screen, these are mine. And I always say this. I have to say this every time. These are mine. My Union County preseason rankings. These are all the teams in Union County. So before I keep going, I do have one other person that is going to join us, and that is the JV defensive coordinator. I just learned that for the Independence Patriots. Also former Shelby star Adam Big Eye Shelby Weber.
What's going on, Pep? What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Just hearing you realize I don't have my headphones on, but I got them on my head.
That's funny.
Been a long day.
Oh, hey, man, it's been a long day, man. It's been a long day.
How was practice?
Oh, we had a good day, man. We had a good day. I'm sure everybody had a good day one, so we're going to try to build off of it.
There you go.
I got good numbers coming out. Injury-free day one.
Oh, yeah.
Injury-free day one. We got it in before the heat came, so.
Good.
So it was a good day today.
Good stuff. When's the next episode come out?
They've been shooting some footage this week. So what's the day? Wednesday? I would say possibly Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
I'm mistaken.
those that are watching and don't know what I'm talking about, Independence is doing a kind of a behind the scenes show called The Patriots, kind of in the mode of Hard Knocks. So it's on YouTube.
Shot by T Flex, former Independence Patriot. So that's even better. You got a kid that played in the program, that played under McFadden. He has a special talent with the camera, man. Photos, videos, anything you want, man. Hit up T Flex on Instagram.
There it is.
TFLIX. TFLIX on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good stuff, man. But for the Union County rankings, going down 1 through 11, we got Weddington at 1. That's should be no surprise if you're watching this show. They're a good program. Monroe year in and year out is really good at 2. Marvin Ridge at 3. Forest Hills 4. Cuthbertson at 5. Sun Valley 6. Porter Ridge 7. Metrolina 8. Piedmont 9. Parkwood 10. And Union Academy at 11. Now, I will say, in my opinion, the first 8 teams on this list are playoff teams in their respective classifications. Year in and year out, those guys are well coached. They have talent. And I think they're playoff teams. And I don't think you can say that for any other county, really, in North Carolina, that 8 out of 11 teams are playoff teams. Maybe in Charlotte, just because, the sheer numbers. But, Adam, when you look at this list, what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have Weddington coming off the state champion, so they're going to be still on the top of the county until somebody dethrones them. Monroe is one of the best two-way programs in the state, Monroe and Forest Hills. Marvin Ridge is one of those very, very disciplined football teams, so you never can count them out of a game. They have a lot of talent over there at Marvin Ridge. I know Sun Valley is returning a lot of defensive guys, if I'm not mistaken, so I think Sun Valley can kind of shake up this list a little bit. I believe this was the conference, right, where you counted I think everybody started like 4-0, 5-0 maybe until conference play hit.
Southern Carolina, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's some good football that's being played in Union County. I wish you can get more of those. Maybe Monroe and Forest Hills be able to match up with some of those teams a little bit more. I'm not sure if they get to. I know some coaches look at it, and I mean, it sucks now because of the RPI stuff, how like Marvin Ridge or Weddington wouldn't benefit from playing the Monroe or Forest Hills. It'll only benefit Monroe and Forest Hills. So it's like, if I'm a coach, if I'm going to take a non-conference game now, it has to benefit my schedule. So I mean, I'm anxious to see what Porter Ridge will do now with the quarterback transferring out. That's another opportunity for a kid to step up. Then Parkwood is where is that where Coach
Sam Mobley.
Coach Sam Mobley, yeah. I need to see how my guy Sam continues to build that program and take that program to new heights. So yeah, I think it's a lot of opportunities in this county. I think this is a pretty good list. I think, like you say, I think all these teams will make the playoffs in their respective divisions. So that'll be good for the county as well. So, but I do wish that we can get some of those Monroe. Being a former two-way guy, I wish we could get some of those Monroe and Forest Hill matchups with some of these 4A schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, man. We got some comments coming in. First of all, Aiden Black, talented defensive lineman's watching. Good evening. We'll get to Cabarrus County here in a few minutes. Andy Rodney.
Ready. Everybody ready, man.
Oh, they're ready. Yeah, they are. Coach Mars checking in. Defense coordinator at Berry this year. I was going to kind of save that for next week, but now he's on here, so there you go. Coach Hunt from Wingate checking in.
What's up, Coach? Hope those Indian boys doing good down there.
There you go. Couple comments here. Coach Marsh again says Cuthbertson will be really good. The defense had 8 to 9 guys coming back. Yeah, that was a big reason why.
That'll be good, man.
Yeah. I think Cuthbertson, Sun Valley, and Porter Ridge are kind of all in that same area. I mean, overall with Forest Hills too and Marvin Ridge, really 3 through 7 to me are all pretty close, but that was definitely a big factor. We're going to talk about one of those defensive guys here in a minute, but
That's great too, coming back. If you got I know me and the coaches, we my coach from Shelby, we used to always joke about it. Where it say as a coach, I'll be worried the year I don't have guys returning on both sides of the ball. So if you always get at least 8 to 9 guys on one side of the ball coming back, so I'm assuming their defense is going to carry them the first couple of games while offense gets it going if they have some new guys. But that's always great to have, especially in 4A, about how many players you have coming back that's actually got valuable minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I saw Cuthbertson when I went to go see Kenneth Rocky River at 7-on-7, and they have some good-looking kids on that side of the ball. The Kilgannon brothers at linebacker, they were captains last year. They're back. They're both seniors. And then, well, I'll go ahead and say it. You'll see it on the next slide. But Cole Webster was one of our top 5 D linemen at our winter showcase, and he's now committed to play college football. And 6'3", 280, and runs like a horse. I mean, he is super impressive. Let's see. Andy Rodden saying Weddington's non-conference schedule is brutal. There's a few schools out here going and really challenging themselves in the non-conference, and they are definitely one of them. Zach Cullen, running back from Sun Valley, checking in. Yeah. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate that. Hope you have a good season.
Appreciate that, Zach. Have a good injury-free season, man.
Yeah. He's got an offer from Charlotte, I believe, and maybe one other school. If you're still watching, Zach, let me know, because I know I wrote about you not too long ago. Jesse James, I like that name. Says Monroe's always tough. Yeah, absolutely. Coach Soul and those guys, and he's got some real talent this year. Kagan Chambers at the quarterback spot. Zion Bus Lindsay playing linebacker and running back. And then, of course, Jordan Young, the athlete. You'll see on the next slide. They transferred out? Oh, man. Breaking news. Where'd they go?
Look like they went to Cuthbertson. That's what they call. I think that's what they call Cuddy.
Oh, I know. He's saying they left.
Oh, I thought he was saying they went.
Yeah, the ones I just talked about.
Oh, well.
Andy, let us know where they went, man. I did not know that.
Breaking news live on the CFI show.
Good gracious. Yeah, he says the head coach told him. Wow. Good gracious. Wow.
Well, today's the day to do it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Even though, well, I won't get into that here, but I've heard some other things that might allow some people to do this after this date. But
yeah, I heard the new rule too. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't know. Right. You don't know it.
I don't want to put that out there. Give people ideas. But anyway, okay. Well, let's move on to the next slide. That kind of threw me. Good gracious. All right, so players to watch. Got one for each team here. For Weddington, defensive lineman Trajan Odom going to Ohio State. He's a big-time recruit. If you haven't seen him, 6'5", 280 pounds. Good gracious, he is a man. I was watching video of him. You see why quickly that he is going to go play college football at Ohio State. Jordan Young, we just mentioned him from Monroe, athlete. He's impressive at both receiver, where you see him in this picture, and at safety. Incredibly athletic, incredibly fast, great ball instincts, big time player. He's going to narrow down his choices here pretty soon if he hasn't done it already. Defensive lineman Manny Lewis from Marvin Ridge. There's so much, defensive, talent at Weddington that I think he gets caught up in the I guess, what am I trying to say? People overlook him because he's got offers from Charlotte, Colorado, and a couple other schools that he picked up here recently. And he's legit, man. 6'3", 260. Really great burst off the ball. He can play D tackle or defensive end. Jarrell Boulder, of course, if you're watching this, you probably know him. 4-star receiver from Forest Hills. committed to NC State, but he had so many offers from big Power 4 schools. There's Cole Webster I just talked about, committed to James Madison. Really, really athletic kid with great size. His recruiting really got going, kind of after our showcase. There's Zach Cullen. I'm glad he's watching, and he posted a comment right here. He says, Georgia, Yale, and Coastal Carolina have been heavily in touch, hoping for more offers after his junior year. Thanks for the love as always. Well, yeah, a little bit more, Zach. This kid is extremely hard worker. I like the way he runs the ball. He's north-south. He hits the hole at 100 miles an hour. There's not a lot of wasted motion. He can catch the ball at the backfield as well. So Sun Valley's got a good one right there in Zach Cullen. Porter Ridge, DB Sawyer Ducey has a couple offers. He's a good athlete in space. He's rangy. One thing Porter Ridge is going to do is coach defense very well, and Sawyer is a good product of that. Jeremy Williams, really good athlete, running back on offense. He can play some linebacker and a little bit of DB on defense. Really athletic kid. He's been coming. Well, he came to our one of our camps as a 9th grader, and he looked like Christian McCaffrey out there. He's very smooth, catching the ball out the backfield. Piedmont defensive lineman Javion Davis. I believe he's picked up at least one offer, maybe two, recently. People are starting to catch on to him. I wrote about him in the offseason. Really good athletic kid, about 6'2", 260, gets off the ball well, gets good pass rush. Parkwood athlete Davian McGriff, he's going to do a lot, for that team, running back, wide receiver. I think he's the best overall player on that team down there. And then Union Academy linebacker Michael Hughes, I saw he just picked up his first offer. He had over 100 tackles last year and does a lot for that Union Academy team. Now, obviously, we couldn't fit, all the deserving players on here. So, Adam, off the top of your head, in Union County, who are some players that kind of stand out to you?
I know at Weddington, man, you got so many different guys you can choose from.
I know you know them well.
You can't forget about. I know they got the Trajan Odom kid. I know he just got there, but you can't leave out the twins, Aiden and Drew, on the defensive line. They have they have TJ Davis at linebacker. I think he's making the switch to inside linebacker this year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the quarterback is gonna be a new starting quarterback. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Gregory Fee. He's come to a couple of our camps and done really well.
He looked pretty good when we went against them in 7-on-7. They had the receiver, Kelson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kelson Tate's come in from North Mech.
Yep, they have a good slot receiver in Kelson. Mm-hmm. The starting linebackers, I think the majority of their starters on defense are coming back. Where in that front seven, they have another linebacker that's playing beside TJ.
Braden Barger.
Yeah, that guy, man, he's a freak, man. He's
wow, okay.
He's swole. He's jacked up. If you want to see a jacked up high school player, man, you can see him. I think I know Sun Valley still has the linebacker. I think he led Union County in tackles last year.
Let me see if I can look him up.
I got his name.
Yeah, but while I'm looking him up, Monroe, I talked about a couple of those guys in Chambers at quarterback, Bus Lindsay at linebacker and running back. Marvin Ridge has a quarterback in Braden Rediger who did really well at our camp. He was a top 5 performer. Forest Hills just picked up a very talented quarterback. This came out today. I believe his name is Josiah Oxendine. Mm-hmm. And he came from Dillon High School in South Carolina, and he's got several offers. So that's a big-time move for Forest Hills. And him and Jarrell Boulder, I think, are going to be really good friends.
Linebacker, Sun Valley, Brandon Creech. I think Brandon Creech had over 120, maybe 30 tackles last year. So I believe he's coming back and for his, I want to say possibly senior year. I think this is senior year, maybe his junior year, but that's one of the key players on their defense.
Yeah, that's a good call right there. Absolutely. Ryshawn Gilmore is a receiver at Porter Ridge. He was their leading receiver last year. He'll be back. I've got to shout out Braden Hunt. He's a young linebacker coming into Metro Christian. He's going to be a really good player. And then Coach Hunt's also sharing here. Preston Broadway. I wrote about him. I love his game. And I had to tell him that. I told him directly that he plays offensive line so well. He enjoys it. He's physical. He's nasty. He plays to the echo of the whistle. He is a great offensive line prospect with the offer from East Carolina. So that's a good call right there, Coach. But yeah, there's a lot of great talent in Union County, a lot of good guys to talk about. We'll talk about those guys not only here on the show. Pepman's players will be back this season, so make sure if you have a really great performance on the field, let me know. You can send it in DM or tag me in your film or whatever. If you have your stats, that's even better. But that being said, let's keep moving. Now we're in the Cabarrus County preseason rankings. Going down the line, number 1, J.M. Robinson. 2 is Northwest Cabarrus. 3, A.L. Brown. 4, Cox Mill. 5, Concord. 6, Hickory Ridge. 7, West Cabarrus. 8, Mount Pleasant. 9, Central Cabarrus. And 10 is Cannon. So before I go to Adam on his thoughts, J.M. Robinson has a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. That's why I put them up at the top. Northwest Cabarrus, I totally respect. Coach Mormon, I thought he did a great job last season. And, they still have some talent in that program. And I think is, key in key spots. I have them at 2. A.L. Brown at 3. They've got a senior quarterback, a senior running back, and a senior tackle. Really good talent on the offensive side of football. I think Coach Harden, with a year under his belt, a little more settled in to doing what he wants to do with that program, is going to put them in a pretty good spot. Cox Mill, I went to see them in spring practice, and I tell you, they were so intense. They were really going hard. And they have some guys that I think are a little under the radar. Coach Holmes, I won't try to name them. I know what you told me, so I won't name them, but they've got some good talent over there. But guys, and Marcus Sales and Jordan Cleaves, that athlete combination on offense is going to be tough to stop. It's been tough to stop already, but now they're a year older. Concord with Coach Shepard, they've got a big offensive line. I think they're going to try to control the line of scrimmage with the run game. They've got some good guys back on defense in Alex Petroff, Tyrell Weatherspoon at safety and defensive line, respectively. Hickory Ridge with Jupiter Wilson leading the charge. Jason McCallum coming off the edge. Some of these names you're going to see on the next slide. They have made a lot of improvement from when I first saw them in the spring to when I saw them at the Winston-Salem 7-on-7 tournament. West Cabarrus, quarterback Jared Street, he's getting offers from schools all over the place. Super talented young man. I think that program under Coach Henson's going to be better this year. Mount Pleasant, they got a young man on that next slide. I'll talk about a little bit. Then Central Cabarrus with Coach Zach and those guys, still building that program up and doing what they need to do. And then Cannon, I think now when I do this list, this is an overall list, but I think in their classification, Cannon, once again, like I said in the previous slide, they're a playoff team. They've got good talent over there. And, their head coach is in his second year doing a really good job promoting those guys and leading those guys on Friday nights for sure. Adam, what's your thoughts here when you look at this?
I think this is a pretty good list from what I know about the area. Shout out to my guy, Coach Shepard at Concord. I'm sure he's going to use this as a little motivation to get those guys at the top spot. Like I said, I know J.M. Robinson has some key additions in the offseason that's going to help them this season. So I think they was one of the best teams in Cabarrus County last year too. I think they had a pretty good run.
Yeah.
It's good to see A.L. Brown back in the fold. I remember playing against them in high school, getting to see the atmosphere and have their home. If you've never been to an A.L. Brown home game before, you're missing out. Very good football community that takes pride in what they do. But let's say, yeah, but as far as the rankings go, I think it's pretty good rankings. Jared Street, I do think Jared Street is the probably the best quarterback in their county, in my opinion. I think he's the best quarterback in the county, in my opinion. So yeah, it's looking to see. It's gonna be good to see what he's able to do this year in his what's be his sophomore year.
Yeah, he's 27. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so going into his sophomore year, that'll be good. Being a freshman starter last year, he was able to get a feel for the varsity. Had a lot of good things happen for him, so it's gonna be good to see him build on in his sophomore year.
Yeah, good stuff. Coach Tatum checking in. He was gonna be on the show, but he's taking kids home, and they had to push practice back for the heat. But he agrees and says there's a lot of great athletes down there. That's a great segue into what we're getting ready to talk about, is some of these athletes in Cabarrus County. So, J.M. Robinson, you got Brian Rowe, wide receiver. I did a nice interview with him over the summer, committed to South Carolina, and he shared why in that interview. Northwest Cabarrus, Jackson Forrest, really good linebacker, had a ton of tackles. I think about over 140 tackles last year. Middle linebacker going to Old Dominion. A.L. Brown, I talked about the big three on offense. One of those is offensive lineman Ty Buster. Really good size kid. Now he's got a great offensive name, Buster. Ty Buster. That sounds like offensive lineman. And he's committed to Auburn in the SEC. I talked about Marcus Sales. That's a picture of him last year when they played against Lake Norman. But he'll be at receiver, DB, making some big plays for Cox Mill all over the field. Jason McCallum at defensive end specifically. Coach Jupiter Wilson said he's probably the best player on their team. He's going to be making plays for them. I really like how he comes off the edge as a pass rusher specifically. I talked about Alex Petrov at Concord, really athletic defensive back, and he can play some strong safety, outside linebacker. He's one of those rover types. Mount Pleasant, athlete Ethan Dempsey, 6'3", really great size, good speed as well on the outside. He'll play a couple different positions for Mount Pleasant. He was impressive when he came to our spring showcase at West Mecklenburg High School. He's going to be one of the key players for Mount Pleasant. We're going to bring on the producer. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Good evening. Just got me a good workout in. Figured I'd come join and get in some of the fun.
Glad to have you.
Appreciate
it. Both myself and Adam just talked about West Cabarrus quarterback Jared Street. Like Adam said, thinks he's the best quarterback in the county. He got offers at our camp 2 years ago as a very young prospect. That's how good that young man is. Central Cabarrus wide receiver Chinua Exebo has several Division I offers. Taller receiver at 6'3", really good speed, high points to football well, really strong hands as well. And then Cannon tight end Henry Anthony. I ranked him as the best tight end in the Charlotte area, 6'5", 225 pounds. You can line him up out wide. He can go catch jump balls against smaller corners, and he can win vertically against linebackers and safeties. He's committed to Harvard. That tells you all you need to know about that young man. Great GPA and really a big-time threat for Cannon. Any of you guys want to share? So, we've got one comment. Let's put this out here. So, Dominic Testa at J.M. Robinson is going to make their offense better. I mean, that's Vaughn. That's a true statement. But I'll tell you, they've got so much offensive talent over there, because outside of Brian Rowe and Dominic Testa, they also have a really good receiver in Xavier Burnett, who I think by numbers was their leading receiver last year. So you've got three receivers that could be number ones on most teams in the area, on one team at J.M. Robinson. So offensively, I think they're going to be really fun to watch. They got some big linemen at Robinson. and they've got a lot of returning defensive guys on that team as well. And if you go back to my interviews, I interviewed about 20 of them over there. So go check them out. They're under my media tab. Some really good kids for sure. Not to mention defensive lineman Aiden Black, who is one of those kids. I did interview him before, but who's now part of that program, and really athletic defensive tackle prospect, can push the pocket from the interior. Great first step out of his stance. So for you guys, any Cabarrus County players you guys want to shout out?
I give a shout out to Jackson Forrest, man. I got to meet the kid on numerous occasions, man. Hope you have a great senior year, injury free. I believe he's the alpha on that Northwest Cabarrus defense. Coming off a big year for them, I believe they finished the regular season undefeated. But yeah, shout out to all the guys that's already committed. And seniors know where they're going. I know that's one of the things a lot of kids want to get off their plate going into their senior year, being already committed. But yeah, I don't know too much about a lot of the guys in Cabarrus County. But yeah, man, I wish everyone the best in Cabarrus County.
There you go. For Northwest Cabarrus, I can throw out there Nolan Irwin, big time offensive lineman. Believe he's committed to Elon, left tackle or right. No, I think right tackle. Really physical off the ball. Can get out of his pass set very well also. And then you've got oh my gosh, his brother is actually quarterback, a 6'3", 175-pound kid who is a sophomore. And he's going to be really fun to watch as well as he continues to grow with Coach Mormon in that Northwest Cabarrus offense. A.L. Brown, the other two kids I wanted to mention, C.J. Gray at the quarterback spot, Mekhi Heron at the running back spot. Both of those guys have been in that program, obviously, for the past couple of years, and are really talented, very athletic. Heron, especially, is a home run hitter. He gets the football in his hands from the running back spot. Cox Mill got Coach Billups joining the show. It says Jordan Cleaves is the best athlete in Cabarrus County. Oh, okay. Now I will say this. I think he is definitely up there. He has been making plays since his freshman year. And when I saw him as a freshman, I felt like he was going to be a really special player, and he's developing into that now. He's got some really good numbers from last season. He's electric on both sides of the ball and on special teams and kickoff returns and punt returns, things of that nature. So, yeah, that's a good call. I definitely agree with you on that. For Hickory Ridge, they've got the receiver in Wooten, who has an offer from Eastern Kentucky. He's a good-sized kid. I believe he's about 6'3", really good hands, runs good routes. And then Chase McCullough at linebacker is going to be a key piece on that defensive side of the football for them from the middle linebacker spot. Concord, to mention some of those offensive linemen, Malik Tan, I believe, is the one that college coaches really need to keep an eye on. He's got great size. I believe he's 6'4", about 285. I know Coach Shepard will correct me if I don't get that right exactly, but I think he's only played 1 year of football is what he told me this spring when I went over there. And, he's going to be a big-time player to watch for sure. And then, when you talk about Central Cabarrus, Coach Zach's son, Brandon Bevilacqua, offensive line, he is a road grader, man. Really great size, good technique, great attitude. He's going to be a leader for those Vikings this season. So, there's a lot of good talent, man. A lot of good talent in Cabarrus County, for sure. Bill, hey man, I told you if you want to come on the show, you can come on the show. I'll even let you go solo.
Oh,
there you go.
Like he might take you up on that.
No censor. All right. Coach Pringle. He says seniors Hudson Patrick and Eli Dempsey for the Cabarrus Stallions. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a good call right there. And first of all, let me talk about that program because I saw them at a 7-on-7 this summer. And those guys, are really working hard, and they have legit talent, man. They made some plays in that 7-on-7 that I saw them in. I got some good pictures of. I don't know, Coach. Did you see the pictures I got of you guys? Send me a message. I'll send you the link if you didn't see those pictures. But yeah. Those guys do a great job with that program and giving kids a chance to go out there and play that are in different situations. So shout out to Coach Pringle and shout out to those two players right there for sure. Fields Balls checking in says Miles Hudson and Bryce Johnson at J.M. Robinson are going to be great senior season guys for them. Yeah, definitely. Miles Hudson was one of our top performers at our spring showcase at West Mecklenburg High School. And Bryce Johnson, I saw him make some big plays last year at the corner spot. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you right there. That's a good call on those two players for sure. All right. Okay, Coach. Yep, I see your message. I'll send it to you. All right. Now we got to take a look at the league previews or preseason conference predictions, as I put it. In the South Piedmont, the prediction is J.M. Robinson 1, Northwest Cabarrus 2, West Rowan 3, Concord 4, Carson 5, Central Cabarrus 6, South Rowan 7, and East Rowan 8. Last year, J.M. Robinson, Northwest Cabarrus, it was the battle. They played in the regular season. J.M. Robinson won. And then they played again in the playoffs in a rematch, and J.M. Robinson won that, moved on to the third round, where they lost to Dudley in a fun game up at Dudley. But I think, in this league, I think they're the two top dogs. West Rowan does have some talent. Their coach sent me some names that are on my radar, not only for this show, but for Prep Red Zone in North Carolina. Concord, I think, can push definitely for third or even second if things come together the right way for them. Carson has kind of been in that middle tier the last couple of years. They have some players that can make some plays. Central Cabarrus, Coach Bev is still, kind of in that building mode. He's got, obviously, talked about Chinwah, talked about his son at the offensive line. So they have some talented guys. Sometimes when I start talking about conference finish, sometimes it gets into a numbers game. If they get good numbers out, they can definitely push more toward the top. And then South and East Rowan have been, kind of, down here at the bottom trying to build their programs up. I know they've had coaching changes, at those schools, and, those guys trying to get in there and get their programs established. Any thoughts on the South Piedmont 3A?
You're 1 and 2, no surprise there. Kind of with the talent they got coming back, and they're kind of both. I know there's been some, a little shakeup at JM, but those two are kind of perennial powers at the moment. So not surprised at all. So those top two.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just setting me up for next week. It'll be all smoke next week. Greater Metro 4. All right, so at the top, I like this more. There was another Mooresville logo that's the one they use a lot, but I like that one. It says every child, every day at the bottom. I wanted to use that one. But Mooresville at 1, A.L. Brown 2, Cox Mill 3, Lake Norman 4, Hickory Ridge 5, West Cabarrus 6, and South Iredell 7. For Mooresville, they've got a lot of players coming back. I know they're not in either of these conferences. I mean, in the counties we talked about, but I'll just talk about a little bit. Coach Zach Mayo. If I hadn't said it already, congratulations on getting the head coaching job. They've got a lot of players coming back. Brody Norman at the quarterback spot. Drew Davis at the center spot, Morin at receiver on the outside. Then on the defensive side of the ball, A.J. Graham just committed to Delaware. Jamari Farmer at the linebacker spot, committed to Indiana. He got that offer right after our winter showcase at Palisades High School. And I put out there he's definitely a Division I player. Incredible movement in space, great instincts. I believe he was the conference player of the year on defense last year. So the Mooresville Blue Devils, should have a strong season for sure. Going down to other teams we haven't talked about, Lake Norman, I went to see them in the spring. They lost a ton of seniors off a good team last year. Adam, I know you know those guys well. You guys knocked them out of the playoffs up at Lake Norman. But Coach Oliphant and those guys, are reloading. I think they've got some good size on the offensive line. Moses Morris at the running back spot is going to do a really good job. I believe Jaden Nordveit is into that program now, also at the running back spot. So that'll be a nice little 1-2 combo on the offensive side of things. And then Jacob Domingo on the defensive side of things, the defensive end. It's going to be one of those leaders for Lake Norman. But anytime you're replacing a ton of seniors, it takes a little bit of time to put all that together. But they're going to be one of those teams that you don't want to play the second half of the season because I think they'll come together and they're kind of changing things schematically too. So it'll be interesting to see how all that comes together for Lake Norman. Of course, we talked about Hickory Ridge and West Cabarrus. South Iredale, I did see them at some 7-on-7 work up in Iredale County this summer. I think they're kind of going through a little bit of a rebuilding phase, but they got a couple guys that can make some plays there. So thoughts on the Greater Metro 4?
Oh, yeah, I believe Moore's were the top dog, man. Shout out to Jamari Farmer. I was able to coach him in one of the showcases, man. Very good kid, very instinctive. So I'm happy he was able to find a home early before the season started. Like I said, man, I'm happy to see A.L. Brown back in the fold. I believe Mooresville will be the team to beat in that conference, man. Be the team to beat. I'm sure Chad Administrator will be happy.
Right.
I'm sure he'll be happy to hear about all his guys, man. But yeah, I think this is the team to beat for sure.
Absolutely. Producer, you got anything to add?
Like you said, man, Chad Administrator will be ecstatic and have a lot to quite a bit to talk about.
He's been talking already.
And I kind of agree with what Webb said about A.L. Brown. Kind of nice to see them kind of get back in the mix after, some season down by their standards, I'll say.
Good deal. Coach Billups has receipts, I believe, or notes or something. All right.
Who's he coaching for?
I think he just said he don't coach no more.
That means he can be completely uncensored.
Hold on. You don't coach no more. Now you back in the mix?
He must be at Cox Mill.
Or maybe
he don't coach no more.
He means back in the internet mix.
Oh, internet mix.
That's what I'm getting. The web.
Well,
no pun intended.
Well, once you figure out what you're talking about, Billups, just let us know. All right. He's still commenting, so we'll figure that out. Now, for the Southern Carolina in Union County, should be no real surprise at the top here was Weddington, then Marvin Ridge at 2, Cuthbertson at 3, Sun Valley 4, and Porter Ridge at 5. And like I said during the county rankings, I think all 5 of these teams can be playoff teams, to be honest with you. I think, Adam, you made the comment that they were all like undefeated after the first 4 weeks of the season last year. Marvin Ridge actually beat Weddington last year going into the playoffs. It was the last regular season game. It's a big rivalry down there. They beat them 24-20. So, if things shake out right, Marvin Ridge could challenge, Weddington for the top spot here. But talented league, all these guys. There's huge crowds at these conference games on Friday nights. Any thoughts on the Southern Carolina foray?
I think that will be it for us preseason coming in. But like you said, you can never count out a Marvin Ridge. You can never count those guys out. So yeah, I think Marvin Ridge. So they ended up winning conference last year, right? If they beat Weddington, or did Weddington still win conference?
I think Weddington still won the conference. Marvin Ridge, I think they lost to Cuthbertson, so they had 2 conference losses, I believe.
So you can never count out Marvin Ridge. You can never count out those guys.
Yeah, I mean, but to be honest with you, with that breaking news we got about the Kilgannon brothers not being at Cuthbertson, I'm rethinking that. That's a huge loss, man. That is a huge loss.
Yeah, we can move Sun Valley on up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. That's definitely what I'm thinking. Producer, you got any thoughts here on Southern Carolina?
Nah.
All right. Hold on, man.
Nah, not yet.
I haven't coached since last year. I coached cheerleading.
It's what I expected. Okay.
Where are you coaching? I'm not getting suckered into this. All right, we'll keep moving. Rocky River 2A, 3A is the last conference we're gonna look at tonight. At the top, we got Monroe. I like their logo, by the way. I didn't really look at their logo until today, really closely. That's a cool logo. They're the Red Hawks. I really like that. Forest Hills at 2, Anson at 3, West Stanley 4, Piedmont 5, and Parkwood at 6. So to talk about teams that we haven't mentioned, Anson, I took a look at them. They've got some important guys coming back in that program. They got a running back that's coming back who ran for over 1,200 yards last season. He'll be a senior. And the second leading rusher, who rushed for about 700 yards, is back as well. There'll be a team that I'm going to keep my eye on a little bit because if either Monroe or Forest Hills trips up, Anson could, try to maybe sneak in there and get an upset. Coach Jackson is now at West Stanley. He's a good coach, good experience. Got a little bit of rebuilding situation to go through there. And then we've talked about Piedmont and Parkwood in both Forest Hills and Monroe overall. But the Monroe Forest Hills game, it's a huge game. I know last year it was some controversy when they played that game. There were some things happening when they were having all the fights at games. It seemed like for 4 weeks in a row. So hopefully we won't have that issue this season. But any thoughts on the Rocky River 2A, 3A here?
With Anson, I kind of feel similar how I felt with L. Brown. Anson had a moment, in the past where they were kind of perennially a good team. Took some dips over the years, but kind of nice to see them, like you said, get back in the fold. Definitely shout out to Monroe. Got to see them, up close last year. Really good, very well coached team. Nice environment there too. So yeah, looking forward to see how they follow up a great season last year, and just kind of want to see what they do this year.
Good deal. Adam, you want to add anything?
I believe that's a good list for those two. I probably would put Parkwood 5 instead of 6.
Okay.
Like as far as Monroe and Forest Hills go, always a big time matchup each and every year with those guys. So yeah, that's all. I mean, that's a good list.
All right, cool. And Coach Billups agrees. He likes this list, so it's good to make everybody happy. That's great. That's what CFI is all about, making people smile. All right. That's the end of the previews. The graphics will go out on Instagram, and everybody will tell me I don't know what I'm talking about on there, so that keeps me humble at night. That's great. Another comment come in. Oh, only one list. Thanks, Bills. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we're at that time, and we got to get some stuff off our chest. It's slime time. Hosted by yours truly, the Pepman, Matt Maul. First of all, we're going to go He had a great slime last week. I was going to put out on social media, but I just forgot to do it. But Adam, you got to give me another one, man. Who you going to slime tonight?
Oh, man, tonight I'm going to slime the Hooters, man. A good friend of mine, man, he loves going to Hooters. And it just seems like every time I go to Hooters, they never have the smoked wings. I'm tired of going to wing establishments and you don't have wings. Well, just your sole purpose is to have chicken wings, man. You have to have all the wings. If not, put a sign out front. Put a sign out front and say, no smoked wings. I have been to Hooters and Concord. Every time I go to Hooters and Concord, they never have smoked wings. Never. And I don't know what it is. Since I was on the same day, there we go. Maybe it's on me for keep going on the same day. Maybe I need to switch days.
You know, I'll tell you, man, it's funny because we always go on the buy one or buy 10, get 10. And it was national. The worst thing about it was National Chicken Wing Day.
National Chicken Wing Day.
So you think some extra inventory would have came in just for that? You would think.
You would think.
But Jamel Lattimore's with you. He says the last 3 times they were out.
I'll tell you, man, literally every time that I go, they do not have it. And they know. And I'll tell them, I don't even want to ask first. I just want them to disappoint me, like always.
Well, that is a good slime for sure. All right. Now we're gonna go to the producer, Brandon Black. Who you want to slime tonight, sir?
I'll just slime the prematurely whiny Panthers fans. You know, I've seen some chatter, you know, whining early about stuff they're seeing. You know, it's camp. Just hold your horses. And even people, oddly enough, they're still mad that training camp is moved. I don't know why that matters so much to people. It really shouldn't, but whiny Panthers fans, if you're going to whine, at least wait till they really give you something to whine about. So I'm sliming now.
Where's training camp at now for the Panthers?
Charlotte.
You mad because it's closer?
Right. Basically.
Yeah. Next time you call out Panther fans, in honor of the Queen, Cherie Glenn, you know, who was the biggest Panthers fan we all knew, we're gonna have to name them. We're gonna start naming these people.
Okay.
Call them out.
You said it. Remember that.
In honor of the Queen. It's the only thing, you know, that's what she would want.
Like Billup said, I got receipts. You said it, so I'll do it.
All right. So tonight I have several slime options. And I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to slime people that can't drive, because I don't know what's going on in this city, but in the left lane, that is called the passing lane. If you are in the left lane, you are expected to drive faster than the people to your right. But I have been running into people who don't understand what the left lane is designed for. They slow down, or in this case today, they stop, look around, don't know where they're going, and then floor it to make it through the light, and then I'm stuck. I mean, come on, man. It's crazy. I have a job where I go to several different sites, and I was going to a site in Huntersville today, and there was an accident to the right. There's a stoplight, accident on the right. They blocked the road. The car in front of me, who cut me off previously at the light, stops in the middle of the intersection when the light is green, trying to make a right turn. There's cops blocking the road because there's a power line all over the road, and you can't go down the road. So they just stop and sit at the green light. We're blowing horns. The light turns yellow. They go through the intersection, and we're all stuck at the light on red. Learn how to drive, people. And there's probably all these people coming down from the north that don't know how things work in the south, man. Go somewhere and figure it out. I'm done. Y'all got some slimes watching? Post your slimes, and we'll talk about those as well. Thank you, Travis. That's our mountain guy, Travis Rogers. Left lane drivers are the worst. Yeah, you can't do that in the mountains, man. Y'all run people off the road up there. I've been up there before. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Fan Fest is at Clemson. Has that happened yet? Has that happened already?
Nah, it's
Or
usually
that's later.
it's usually towards the end of camp, I thought.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think you got to have tickets. I think you can get tickets at Clemson. I know that they ain't gonna be that many people down there. That's if it ain't Clemson, they ain't gonna come out there. But I know the ones here, I think they said are sold out. So if you're trying to get in here, you can't get in too quickly. But anyways, to finish out the show, I just want to give a couple impressions. Been to a couple media days. I went down to Fayetteville. They had their media day. Joshua Graham with oh gosh, what's his group called? Carolina Recruits. Got all the Fayetteville players together and did a media day at a Dick's Sporting Goods. It was a huge Dick's Sporting Goods. They got a climbing wall in this place. I've never seen anything like that before. But I did a ton of interviews down there, promoting some of the Fayetteville kids. And then here in Charlotte, we've had 2 media days so far. We had the Southwestern 4A Media Day on Monday, and then we had the Queen City Conference Media Day yesterday. Both of them are pretty cool. It's always good to see all the coaches together. And I think some good questions were asked by the media. Got some good sound bites. Adam, I know you've probably watched some of the clips and seen, some of the stuff said. Any thoughts on that?
No, man, I'm just excited for our guys over at Independence, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate how Coach DJ McFadden put together that media day. It's different being here, being able to be a part of, have players be a part of media day. They don't do that where I play, that where I'm from. But it was great just to see our guys in front of the camera. Get their thoughts on how the season is going. And I'm just excited for our guys, man. Each and every day we look to get 1-0. So I think the media day is great because you get to hear and see from the kids. I think a lot of time the coaches are always in the camera on the high school level. Mm-hmm. Kids only kind of get the interviews after games, maybe during the summers and stuff like that. But most of the time on high school level, you keep it head coach. So it's great to hear the kids get up and voice their opinions about how they feel about the season and how their off season has been going. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Producer, have you had a chance to see any of that stuff?
No, it's lined up, but I'm gonna get to it though.
Thank you.
I always do.
A couple comments. So Karen's saying the Fan Fest is on Thursday, August 1st. Isn't that tomorrow?
Yep.
Well, think about
maybe not the end.
Karen Bell, man. Shout out to Karen Bell, big time independent support.
Yeah. Awesome. One of the best CFI fans out there for sure. And I have not forgot about your shirt, Karen. I promise I haven't forgot. And all of you guys, I keep saying that I want to give you guys stuff, but it's just, you guys got to come to a camp. I'll get you. If you come to a camp, I'll get you a shirt. I don't know where I'll be with shirts otherwise, but we'll work that out in the future. So upcoming on Saturday, the SOMAC conference is having their media day at Palisades High School, and they have invited fans to come out. And if you want to watch the media day, if it's in the same place as last year, it'll be in their gym. I won't be there, but our guy Shaquan, who's our photographer and does a great job getting highlights during games, he will be there covering that. And then on Monday, our guy Coach Dub, Robert Washington from Mountain Island, is helping put together a Gaston County Media Day, and that'll be held in Gastonia. I will be at that one. That one is from, I believe, 11:45 in the morning to 2 p.m. I don't know if the public is allowed to come in, but we'll have coverage definitely and clips from the Gaston County Media Day, and Shaquan will have at least pictures. I don't know if he'll do interview stuff, but we'll have some stuff from both media days coming up. And then next week, like I said at the beginning of the show, We'll start talking about we'll have our big Charlotte show next week, August 7th, starting at 8 o'clock, and it'll definitely be longer than an hour because we just gotta get through all the Charlotte stuff. And then we'll talk about scrimmages because scrimmages will start that Friday, August 9th. I know Providence Day in Mooresville. That's a highly anticipated scrimmage. That'll be at Mooresville at 6 p.m. J.M. Robinson Kings Mountain are going to be at A.L. Brown that same day at 6 p.m. I believe Stanley County is having their jamboree on that Friday. Shaquan will go to that and get pictures and coverage. And then on the 10th is a FCA Gaston County jamboree at Mountain Island starting at 5 p.m. So if you want to attend any of those events, bookmark them. I know everybody will be glad to see you. If you see us out there, I'll be somewhere Friday and Saturday next week. Adam, are y'all scrimmaging next week, or y'all wait until the? I know y'all.
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't put your business out there. So I know some of you guys are incognito about your scrimmages. So unless it's public, I try not.
We'll be getting some work in.
There you go. All right. Well, for Adam Big Eye Shelby Weber and for the producer Brandon Black, I'm the Pepman Matt Morrow. Thank you for watching CFI's Football Focus Weekly. Keep it locked into the best high school football show in the Carolinas and beyond. Next week, Charlotte High School football. Tell your friends it's the biggest show of the year. See you then.